Welcome to the Wallace Show Aftercast, all the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today. Pastor Chad, you know him from our prayer wall, and we do that segment every Friday with him. So if you listen to the regular podcast, you've already heard that. But he was reminding me, too, to tell the potties, and not just the radio people, that we have the Monday School podcast that happens. We record it, and Pastor Chad and his team have turned it into a podcast, so there's a whole bunch of them posted. So you could do it as a daily devotional if you wanted to, or you could just enjoy it once a week if you miss it on the regular show, or share it with somebody, too. I think that's the biggest thing. If you could go and subscribe to it, that helps out the podcast, and also sharing it with people that might need that encouragement either weekly or daily. It's a really cool thing. So if you just text the word... wait, what was it? Monday?
Yep.
That would have made sense.
Yeah.
I got stuck between that other one we do for all the podcasts, and so I'm like, oh, wait, that's not right. So text the word Monday to 91979, and we will send you a link, and you can check that out. So thank you very much. We really appreciate you and all the support that you give during support drives and just listening to this nonsense that we do every day. So thank you so much. Betty Rock had shown me this story the other day. There was a guy that was in this club, and he was in San Diego, and he was closing out his tab, and it was $24. And they gave him 4 options for tipping. This is why people are so sick of tipping and tipping fatigue. And it suggested 100% tip.
That was the first option, is 100%.
I don't like tips that don't start out low, on those options. When they start out at 20% now and 25%, 30%, and then they go, or custom tip. It's already awkward enough standing with somebody. Have the human decency to start out. If you're not really doing anything for me, at least start out at 10%.
Yes.
I might throw you that bone and be like, fine, here you go. But when you start out like crazy, and the point these other people were making on this one is, if you had been at this club and you're not always in the right headspace, you would be closing out your tab a little foggy, and the first one is 100%. Gas stations are doing this now. Have you noticed this?
You tip when you put in your own gas?
No, they put the most expensive gas on the left-hand side, where typically that has always been the lowest grade gas because you go low, medium, high. Now they're switching it to the highest on the left because you just get in that habit and you hit the button and start filling up.
That's wrong.
Everyone is trying to separate you from your money.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we have support drive coming up. Just kidding. No, but I mean,
Nice.
that is the crazy, crazy thing. So people were saying that was predatory, but you know when the one that gets me, though, but I never have a problem doing it, is the round up. When they're like, hey, would you like to round up your change today?
Oh, yeah.
It hit me twice yesterday. I did lunch at Panda Express, and they're like, hey, would you like to round up your change? And when I got up to the window, it would have been an even $10, and then it was $9 something. And so I got up to the window, and I'm like, hey, isn't it supposed to be $10? I rounded up. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I messed up. Thank you. So I paid her the money. But it's that's just an easy way to generate funds. Now, it's not as much as a lot of other things that will grow faster, but I think you get more compliance because it seems easy to do, and I'd much rather not deal with change personally.
Yeah, I think people would be happier, and you wouldn't hear as many people complain.
Yeah.
Or you wouldn't feel like you're being taken advantage of.
Yeah, if they did that instead of the 10, 20, 30% at
100.
Yeah, at a fast food place or whatever, and hey, would you like to round up for the crew? Absolutely. I'll do it every time.
Would you rather, though, if you go to a place and they're like, would you like to round up for, something like St. Jude?
Yeah.
But instead they change that to, would you round up for the crew?
Absolutely. Versus giving me that tip line, I 100% would every time.
Panda Express, I think it's Panda Express that does the St. Jude thing, which I've always appreciated.
Yeah, I love St. Jude.
And it's the one, it's one of those things where I think in some facet you should make sure that the money is going where they say it's going to go. But if that, I trust them, and I have researched that one. I love that one from Panda.
I got hit on that one, and then another children's type thing. But again, it's coming down to under $1 basically when you're rounding up, and so I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I wasn't going to go do a bunch of research on who it's going to. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'll trust Panda Express enough with my dollar. But I was at one where they're like, hey, do you want to? I think I was at Publix checking out, and they're like, hey, do you want to support something, with a $5 donation or whatever? And I I was like, you know what? I don't know what that charity is, honestly. And so, no, I give in other places. I give at church. I give here and I give here. And so I was like, yeah, I'd rather know what I'm supporting. And the girl was cool. She's like, oh, absolutely. No, it's fine. Because I do think there is some responsibility for it. Now you can make the argument, well, $5 is not that much different from one. Why did you care about one and not the other? But again, back to the doing the rounding up. I think you would have more long-term success with that. But maybe most people tip, I guess, when they get that screen flip. Yeah. I bet most. I would love to know a percentage.
It's a guilt thing.
I know. I get guilted into it. I do. Betty Rock is a stone.
I won't.
She is a stone. She's like, I don't care if you're going to try to send your kids to college. Absolutely not.
When did I become your manager? And if I did, then I need to put in some paperwork.
Yeah, like so. I always, and I really shouldn't care what people think about me, but I guess I do. Ultimately, I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm cheap or something, but I'm like, So, anyways, I think that other thing would be a good idea. Lady Rock, what do you got?
Well, we're going to do our Friday thing where I ask a psychology question.
Love it.
So this one is, if women and men lived on two different planets, what would happen to both of these planets?
This is very easy. What would happen is women would turn on each other and they would need a new planet. And so then they would come over to the men's planet and then they would take over that one. And men would once again just be out of luck. And so that's how I see it. What do you think, Rock?
I think that the women's planet would be a lot prettier.
Oh, it would be beautiful.
It would be prettier.
But catty.
It would be catty.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be able to fix anything.
True.
Maybe.
It would start off beautiful, but then it would decay.
Maybe. I don't know. But I do think that there would be less wars because women, listen, hear me out.
I think there'd be more.
There might
hear me
be.
Out.
Okay, go.
You present your case.
Women, if they don't like you or they're more secretive about it.
Yeah, passive aggressive.
Yeah, whereas with men, it's way more outspoken.
Yeah.
And so I think with y'all's planet, it would go down in destruction, and a lot of you would accidentally kill yourselves because you're always trying to push the boundaries, and I don't think women would.
Are we going to these planets with our shared history in mind, or is it like a reset? Like, is it a genuine reset?
I think even if you call it a reset, I think you're still going to have problems because we're made innately certain ways.
I think you're right.
And so if you take the men's plan, unfortunately, because men have been in control for so long, you have history that shows you we would probably destroy our planet. We would probably fight, argue. We would want to
but which one would last
We
longer?
would want to get all the resources we could.
I think you guys would.
Yeah, we would want to better ourselves over somebody else. Then we would want to take their resources. It's really sad. I mean, we have a history that shows our human nature would do that. I would love to be able to live in a utopian society where everybody worked hard and did what was good for each other, but that's just not reality. But I don't think it would be a picnic over at the ladies' place either.
No,
There'd
but I
be
don't think
so
it would
many
be a
emotions.
picnic over at the men's one either.
But you would know where you stood. You'd be like, I don't like you. You don't like me. Let's fight. Women would be like, I don't like you, but I'm not going to tell you, but I'm going to tell all my friends, and then they're going to ostracize you and stuff. I think it's very different ways. Now, all of that said, I am the first, man, that if we were to have a qualified woman running for president, I would absolutely embrace that, and I would love it. I would just love to see a different tone politically than we've had since 1700s. I would love to see the difference, and it'd be interesting if it wasn't different. If a woman running it, there was the same pressures and the same outcome was there. But I don't think so. I think she would run it very differently, and there'd be more compassion and less anger. But then would people perceive that as weakness, and then we would have to fight? So I don't know. Gavin, what do you think?
I mean, I think that you guys would present a theoretically cleaner planet that does look great.
You'd recycle.
I think it would look great on the outside. My biggest thing is that I think our planet would start off quieter.
Yeah.
I think we would tend to be a little bit more introverted on ourselves.
Not with Wally on that planet.
Maybe not.
Our planet would have a lot of fun, honestly.
I think
it
would
be
do
a lot
some
of
crazy fun.
Think about it. Our planet would be a frat house.
It would.
When you think about it, we would have frat row. Yeah, it'd be great. Did you ever do? You didn't do a frat, did you?
No, I rushed for like a split second.
Oh, you did?
I was not super interested, but I liked a couple guys in a house.
Yeah.
And I hung out with them once or twice and saw the culture.
Yeah.
And was terrified as an 18-year-old.
I'm gonna get paddled.
I was like, I can't do this, guys.
I know who's getting hazed.
Is there water in that cup?
I had my I went to college later in life, and so I had already had my, rabbit trails. And so I got to college, and my best friend was in college, and he was in a fraternity. And I went to a couple of their frat things, and I just was like, this is not for me. Like, I don't want the hazing. I'm not a get along bro kind of guy. And so I didn't ever rush. I didn't want to spend money on it.
No.
But like I would, because he and I were best friends, he would bring me to certain things. And so I would go to certain things, and I got enough taste of it to go, all right, that part was fun, but I don't like that part. I would have liked living in the house, I think, because I missed out on the fun experience of college. For me, college was all work just to get out to move on, and so I missed out on that. That's why I wanted my daughter to go and live in a dorm and experience all of that stuff, because you learn to navigate people and drama. You learn how to and the women's planet would be a woman's dorm, and it would come complete with drama and emotions and crying, but then hugging and healing.
Yeah, we would be in touch with our feelings, whereas instead of trying to seek counsel for your feelings, you would be like, let's fight a bear.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of you would
on our planet?
Oh, yeah, we got bears.
accidentally take each other out, because there are so many videos on social media I see of guys doing the most ridiculous things just to prove that they are manly.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're going to take themselves out.
But would we if there were no girls to watch? That's the other thing.
Yeah, you would.
Half the things we do are to impress women. Like half of
No, it's not. You're trying to impress other men.
We do, but I would say more of the things that we do as guys is to impress women. For sure. Hey, watch this. Hey, is she watching? Okay, great. I'm going to jump off this building.
Newsflash, none of those women care.
Yeah, I know. That's
Oh my gosh, we could rev our cars.
Oh yes. It'd be like, wee.
This is also
We'd have the loudest mufflers, and
we would have so
great.
many golf courses. It would be so perfect.
It would be
annoying.
great. We could do whatever we wanted to without having somebody to tell us that we're wrong.
Let's do this.
Oh my gosh.
Telling you, we wouldn't have any pollution, that's for sure. Whereas you men would.
Yeah.
You'd invent the smoking and all that, and I don't think we would.
Industrial Revolution, baby.
But then what we would also do is invent giant fans to blow all of that pollution over to your planet. So
y'all are vindictive. Y'all are the dramatic ones.
Oh yeah, the guys are gonna be just fine. The kids are all right, as the old song says. Wow. So that's a good question. You got any birthdays?
I do.
Get it.
My computer just
Bye-bye.
decided not to do it. Okay, we got Haley to her dad, Richard. He's celebrating a birthday today. Said he's your guys' biggest fan. She put biggest in big cap.
Yeah. She tried to like get us to hook her dad up with some merch, and I had none. I went through all of my bins and stuff. That was her. So Richard, your daughter was trying to hook you up. Like, she's a good kid, and but we had nothing.
This is like verbal merch right here.
Yeah. So we appreciate you being a potty and listening. So thank you.
And then the Clausens, their youngest son, Matthew, is celebrating a birthday on Sunday. Said he enjoys family gatherings, especially when we have fresh buns bread and his new puppy.
I don't know if that's a Canadian thing, fresh buns bread?
Fresh buns / bread.
Oh, okay. I wonder if they make that or something.
I'm not going to look that up anymore.
Yeah. I'm out. Not on your work computer. All right. Well, that is going to do it for you got a question too? What do you want to do? Weekend plans. Everyone's got a weekend plans. Oh, I forgot about this.
I want Gavin to go first, because Gavin needs to inform you, potties, about what happened to him this morning.
I don't want to. I'm just going to go home and cry. But at about 3:45, I'll start here, actually. So yesterday, it might still be up. Well, no, it was on our story, right? The video of the barking thing.
Oh, no, that was a post.
You can go see it on our Instagram. A video where
search Wally Show.
Wally brought in some super glue to help me fix some noise canceling headphones because my Jasper barks a lot at night. Put them on, worked well. I put them on in the middle of the night to give it a test run. Didn't hear a peep.
That's
and then
amazing.
At one point, I looked over and Haley was getting up. I was like, oh, it's 3:40. Oh, let me go take him out. She's like, no. I've been up for a couple hours. He's been barking the whole time.
But she wants to keep him out in the room where you were like, let's put him in another room and he'll shut up. So that's on her.
So it is. And I know that they need to be out of the baby's room eventually.
I know.
But I'm just, it's hard now. But I get up and I'm like, all right, let's just get him out there, bathroom, come in, give him a little bit of food, and then we can move on with our day. And I always, since last weekend, peek my head out and just scan the yard.
Because Jasper got skunked in the face.
Yep.
Yeah, after the skunk debacle.
And then ran in the house and put the skunk smell all in their house.
And so my eyes look out in that yard, and I don't see anything. Now, I don't have the best vision at 3:45 in the morning.
Do you have a light back there?
Yeah. There's some light. But I didn't
so your neighbors can see you in their boxers? That's kind.
I try to hide. But I didn't have my glasses on, and I just didn't see it. And then I opened the door for the dogs to go out, and they sprint hard, which is never a good sign.
Yeah.
It's fine if it's a squirrel. It's fine if it's something like that. But then I saw them go to this fence. I saw Ellie get all close to something. I start screaming like a banshee. Jasper runs back because he learned his lesson. Ellie didn't learn a lesson, didn't know, and she got smacked in the face by this thing.
Yeah.
But then I stepped out, closed the door, and then we washed her out there. Didn't let her get in the house.
All at 3:30 in the morning. That's what stinks, man. It's like you got to get cold water on you and on the dog at 3:30 in the morning.
It's just pitch black. There's no sunshine for God to throw down on us in that moment.
That's not fun.
I am gonna have to. I'm trying to get out of here quick. Go home. See what the smell. Because we tackled it quick and we put her in the bathroom.
Yeah, you might
again.
have averted some disaster.
There's a good chance that it might. I think the smell's gonna pop back up again, and I don't think it's gonna be as bad.
Good thing you had extra. You guys thought ahead and got extra skunk shampoo.
3 of those things.
That's really smart, and so now you're good.
I'm gonna go home, and I'm just gonna see what we're looking at. I'm gonna take them out for a walk. I will say that it was a little bit of a scary thing where it was like right before you guys did the break about up with Pastor Chad. She had called me, and
Ellie?
No, yes.
You tried her to use a phone?
Haley called me and was just sobbing.
Why?
She had at one point. This is just going to add on to the get rid of Jasper bandwagon.
Oh, gee.
Where she was going to try and take Ellie out for a walk, and then Jasper was sitting on the couch, and he doesn't dart. He doesn't do anything with the door or anything. Today was his day.
He darted.
And she lunged and grabbed him, but in the result, she fell down on her knees, just outside of the house, and got him back in, and she was just in a muck. She baby's good, all this stuff. She called the doctor. They're like, okay, if you
fell on
good.
your knees, you're good. There are women that run all the way, run marathons up to their last little bit. So as long as you don't fall on your stomach and stuff.
But for a woman who's been up since probably 2 a.m. dealing with all of this stuff, to have that happen, I'm going to go handle the house, go find wherever she's at. She had a haircut she wanted to go get, and I told her, if you can make it happen, get your haircut. So we're just going to try and recover. And
the crying when you can't do anything about it as a guy is the worst.
I asked her if I needed to go.
I know.
In that moment, it was. I was like,
Why is it the worst?
It just is, because you want to help. You want to help your wife, if she's going through something, but then you also have responsibilities at work, and ultimately it's not a giant big deal.
Unless it was. Nobody would bat an eye.
No, 100%.
But in this scenario, you work towards is this dire or is this...
Are you just emotional? If she had fallen down. Yes, she was emotional. That's emotions.
I'm taking it in. I'm listening.
Okay.
Why are you getting so emotional?
Because you're making a little emotional.
Yeah, you're being snide like you usually are. No, so if she is just... If it's emotions and not hurt... physical hurt, then that's hard because you want to help, and then you might feel guilty that you can't because you got to keep working. But then, if it had been a serious thing, absolutely go. But then you can't just do that. But then they sometimes will be upset, you don't care about my feelings.
Well, in
I
some
do,
ways,
but
I think Haley was like, I just need you to be on the phone as
That's
I
fine.
calm down.
Yeah, just listen.
I'm
I'll just
totally
listen.
here.
I'll
I'm
just,
here to
you know what? You just go. I'm just going to listen.
offer up the ideas,
Yep.
offer up all this stuff.
Yeah, just going to listen.
Yeah.
So is Jasper pushing, kind of like Wally is today with me?
I'm pushing buttons, but not intentionally. I think Ben's just emotional today. Yeah, I think so. Like I'm not trying.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not trying to push
I have
buttons.
a button.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm not.
That you keep pushing.
I'm not trying to. I promise you, I'm not trying to
Where
push
does
your buttons.
Jasper lie right now?
Oh, physically?
Like,
No,
I know.
in your life.
like what does Haley think?
It's stressful.
Like if a dog napper drove up to your home and was like, "Listen, we're desperate to find a dog. Would you elect?"
No, I can't get there. I'm gonna say it all jokingly, and to be honest, maybe I'll say those jokes about a kid if they get really like, if they do a
Annoying.
lot of crying and they do a lot of this.
they
I'm
will.
like, why did we do this?
Oh, there will be a
I'll
moment.
say the same thing, and I know that I just will.
Yeah.
Jasper is a dog that you just have to. He requires a lot of work. Honestly, it was just one of those things where if I could go back in time and see what was going to happen,
Yeah.
maybe I would have made a different decision.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing:
I would have never had kids.
what?
No.
Because I love that dog to death. Like he is my dog. But I'll tell you, the inkling of my heart in this scenario was that when she called me and mentioned the phrase "Jasper darted,"
Right.
there's just that
Let him
Let him go.
minuscule part of my heart that was like, did he like
Get hit by a car?
go?
Oh,
No,
was he
not
gone?
like that. No, like did he run away or something?
Oh.
Is he chipped?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Cut that out.
So it's all this to say is that I think this is the honest reflection of struggle.
I could see him getting out. The vet chips him, and then Gavin sees the number on his caller ID, and he's like, "Hello," and they're like, "We have your dog. No habla inglés."
No,
he just,
no pero, no,
yeah, exactly.
no necesito.
He just pretends to not know English just so they can't bring it back.
It's all difficult, and it's all a lot,
It is.
and it'll be okay. But I'm ready to.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a night's sleep, and I'm legitimately considering a hotel for tonight.
You have a lot of stuff on your plate now, and you do get overwhelmed. I think that's fair to say. Like, we all do it for different things. We all do for different things. But like, you are overwhelmed right now, and then you're adding all of this prior to having a kid, which is really, it's very stressful. I get that, and so I get why you're like.
It's like if it was on its own thing,
it would be fun. Or
If this was 2 years ago,
right?
No kid, no car accident in the past, just no nothing, then I could see being like, ugh,
it's always
what a
additive.
bummer.
Yeah, it's always additive. Usually most things in life, outside of like a terminal illness or a divorce, things like that, or something with your kid, but like usually most things are like in and of themselves, it's doable. Yeah. But it's when it gets compounded, it's this, then it's this, then it's this. They always talk about the rule of threes. Bad things come in threes. And sometimes
you're on number 5.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
10,
Bad
11.
things comes in 11s for you. Oh, it's a lot. And then, you're going to trade all of that problems for a new set. But that new set will actually come with a lot of joy too. So maybe it'll balance out. So, what are you doing?
My weekend.
What are you doing, Rock, this weekend?
What am I doing? I'm going to a friend's house tonight. Then tomorrow, I am meeting up with a friend. We're going to Chewy's.
Oh, yes.
delicious.
What time?
I have no idea. We haven't set a time yet.
Yeah, because Betty Rock's like, well, let me get back to you when I get up. That's probably going to be around noonish.
Right, so let's make it 3 just to be safe.
I know.
And then Sunday, I have to help with the babies.
Ah, there you go. All right. Let me see. Friday.
Wally's a bachelor.
Yeah, my wife is out of town until Saturday afternoon. And so I'm probably going to go to the range today after work. And then I don't know.
Are you going with anyone?
No, I'm just going by myself. I'm trying to dial one of my things in. And so I'm going to do that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I actually don't know what I'm going to do tonight. My night is open. I finished my project.
That's awesome.
I was making some cutting boards, these acrylic or epoxy cutting boards. I finished those. And so now I'm like, I might just have a down night, play my game, like my PS5 or something. Then tomorrow morning, I'm going to foil. and then be home by the time that Marty gets home and make sure that I have everything clean. Actually, the house is still in great shape. I have used 1 fork, 1 knife, and 1 plate since she's been gone. That's all. I try to minimize my utensil usage while she's gone.
Wash.
Yeah, so literally those 2 utensils and a plate.
You actually do more than my dad. When my mom's gone, he'll just use paper everything.
I used to. Yeah, I used to do that. But now I'll still use the plates. But I've used 1 plate, and I used it a couple times. So it was fine.
You use utensils.
I know.
That's a big deal.
I know. I'm growing up. Big boy time. All right. Well, I think that is going to do it for our Aftercast for today. And as always, thanks for being a potty.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.